You've heard the names. Air Jordan, Black Mamba, King James. Legends, right? But here's the thing. These nicknames weren't handed out like candy. They were forged through clutch shots, cold-blooded moments, and battles that felt bigger than basketball. Take Allen Iverson. The answer wasn't just a nickname, it was a whole attitude. Or Karl Malone. The mailman didn't just deliver, he always delivered. This isn't just a list of catchy names. It's the story of how 7 NBA greats turned moments into mythology. By the end, you'll never hear those nicknames the same way again. Before we move on, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss what's coming next. 7. Air Jordan. They didn't just call him Air Jordan because it sounded cool. The nickname defined him, his hang time, his flair, his dominance. His agent, David Falk, saw something bigger and turned Air Jordan into more than a name. It became the face of a billion-dollar sneaker empire and a symbol of greatness. On the court, Jordan wasn't just great, he was inevitable. 6 NBA titles, 5 MVPs, 14 All-Star nods, 10 scoring crowns, 2 Olympic golds. But it wasn't just about stats, it was how he did it. Game winners under pressure, fearless leadership, and a killer instinct that made him basketball's ultimate icon. And who could forget that icy cold dagger in the 1998 finals over Brian Russell? That wasn't just a shot, it was a mic drop on a career that redefined greatness.
Championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead!
The shot is often referred to as the dagger due to its impact on the game and the series. 6. Black Mamba. When the world started doubting Kobe Bryant, he didn't flinch, he reinvented himself. Out of personal chaos came a new identity, the Black Mamba. And yes, this wasn't a nickname handed to him. Kobe chose it, created it, lived it. Why Black Mamba? Because the snake is fast, focused, and deadly, just like Kobe on the court. It was his way of separating the man from the myth, leaving the noise behind and sharpening into something colder, meaner, and far more dangerous. What followed was the rise of the Mamba mentality, a mindset built on obsession, discipline, and the drive to outwork everyone. And the results? 5 NBA championships, 18 All-Star nods, 2 Finals MVPs, 1 League MVP. Kobe's game was about moments, game winners with defenders draped on him, shots that silenced entire arenas. That legendary 81-point eruption against the Raptors in 2006. It wasn't just a scoring clinic, it was a message. You can't stop the Mamba. He became the standard for grit and greatness. Players didn't just watch Kobe, they studied him. And even now, long after his final game, that nickname still echoes louder than ever. 5. Dr. J. Before there were highlight reels, there was Dr. J. Julius Erving wasn't just a player, he was poetry in motion, and that nickname, it fit him like a glove. Funny enough, Dr. J started as an inside joke. In high school, Irving called his buddy the Professor, and in return, his friend dubbed him the Doctor. What began as 2 teens clowning around turned into one of the most iconic names in basketball history. But make no mistake, Irving earned that title. He operated on defenders like a surgeon with a flair for the spectacular. His dunks weren't just powerful, they were art. Long before players were flying through the air, Julius was gliding, twisting, and hanging midair like time-hit paws just for him. He dominated both leagues, snatching 2 ABA titles, 1 NBA championship, and racking up 11 All-Star appearances along the way. And who could ever forget that exciting reverse layup in the 1980 finals against the Lakers? It wasn't just a bucket, it was a masterpiece.
Julius Erving drives to the basket, goes up and... unbelievable shot! Lives into the...
4. Magic. Before the world knew him as Magic, he was just Irvin Johnson, a high school kid dropping dimes and dominating games. But one night changed everything. After a mind-blowing triple-double filled with no-look passes and wizard-level vision, a stunned local sports writer couldn't hold back and called him what everyone in the gym was thinking, Magic. And just like that, the name stuck. But this wasn't some flashy label. It was the perfect description for what he brought to the game. When he hit the NBA, he became the heartbeat of the Showtime Lakers, a squad that didn't just win, they entertained. Magic was the floor general, the highlight creator, the guy who could thread a pass through chaos like he had eyes in the back of his head. He didn't just win, he owned the decade. 5 NBA championships, 3 MVPs, and a rivalry with Larry Bird that defined the 80s and dragged basketball into prime time. 3. The Mailman. At first glance, the Mailman might sound like a playful nickname, but once you saw Karl Malone go to work, it made perfect sense. What Malone brought was raw power, elite footwork, and a motor that never quit. Night after night, season after season, he was dominant, backing defenders down and putting up numbers that still echo through the record books. His connection with John Stockton on the Utah Jazz was basketball chemistry at its finest. That pick-and-roll combo, deadly. Together, they built one of the most consistent duos in league history. And Malone? He stacked up 36,928 points, the second most in NBA history, 14 All-Star nods, 2 MVPs. The only thing missing, a championship ring. But that didn't stop Malone from being a nightmare matchup and a symbol of consistency through the 80s and 90s. The Mailman wasn't just a nickname, it was a warning. If you were guarding Karl Malone, you knew exactly what was coming, and you still couldn't stop it. 2. King James. LeBron James didn't wait for the NBA to crown him. They were already calling him king before he even stepped onto the hardwood in a pro jersey. Still in high school, with the spotlight already locked on him, the name King James started buzzing. 4 MVPs, 4 NBA titles, 20 All-Star selections, and he's still going. He's done it with power, finesse, and that ridiculous basketball IQ that has defenders guessing every time he touches the ball. If there was ever a moment that truly defined the nickname King James, it was that legendary chase-down block in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. LeBron delivered a masterpiece, dropping a triple-double with 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. But it was that block, tracking down Andre Iguodala like a lion hunting prey, that turned the tide and sealed his legacy.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup!
June 19th, 2016 wasn't just a win.
Go, rebound tip taken by Spades, final seconds. It's over, it's over!
It was LeBron James cementing his throne. From Cleveland to Miami to LA, LeBron's impact has been felt everywhere. His nickname isn't just famous, it's fitting, because when you talk about greatness, you'd better mention the king. 1. The answer. Before he even hit the NBA, Allen Iverson had already been crowned with one of the coldest nicknames in basketball, the answer. And it wasn't made up by some reporter or agent. It came from his childhood friend, Jamil Blackman, who saw what Iverson was about to bring to the league and said, he's the answer to everything the NBA's missing. Turns out he was right. Iverson didn't fit the mold. He wasn't tall, he wasn't built like a tank. But when that ball was in his hands, he was relentless. That signature crossover didn't just shake defenders, it shook arenas. 11 All-Star appearances. And that unforgettable 2001 season, MVP, leading the Sixers to the finals, carrying a squad on his back with heart and hustle. And who could forget that iconic step over on Tyronn Lue? Allen Iverson's iconic step over on Tyronn Lue. Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals, a moment we'll never forget. But the answer wasn't just a baller. He was a movement, the cornrows, the tats, the swagger. He brought hip-hop into the NBA like no one else ever had. From the gravity-defying flair of Air Jordan to the cold-blooded precision of the Black Mamba, these nicknames weren't just cool titles, they were bold statements. Each one captured a player's mindset, their style, and the legacy they left behind. Magic made the game joyful. The mailman delivered every single night. King James? He stepped into a destiny that seemed written long before his first NBA bucket. Dr. J floated so future stars could soar. And the answer? He didn't just shake defenders, he shifted the entire culture. These names live on because the players behind them created moments we'll never forget. So now it's your turn. Which NBA nickname is the most iconic? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear from real fans like you. And if you love this trip through basketball history, hit that subscribe button, because behind every all-time great, there's a nickname that says it all.